Who the fuck's Davey?
Oh shit! Wrong one. My bad.
I just fuck with you. That's so funny. Awesome. Nick Murphy, right?
Yes.
Murphy's the last name. All right, cool. I keep thinking, what's the guy's name on
Nick
RoboCop?
Cannon you're thinking of. Is
RoboCop.
I don't know.
Is it Nick Murphy?
Yeah.
It is Nick
Are you
Murphy.
serious?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
all
Did
right.
you not know that?
No.
Oh,
but that's funnier that is the correct name. And you were going, I keep thinking you're that other guy. And it's the exact same name.
It is the exact same name. I'm not tripping out. All right, cool. Hey, welcome to another episode of To Be Frank with Frank Castillo. My name is Frank Castillo, obviously. Hello, it's good to be back. Today's guest, I have the very funny Nick Murphy.
Hello. Thank you for having me, Frank.
You do the... Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
You're from Atlanta, right?
Yes.
Yes. I've seen the clips. Very funny. And then we also have the same manager.
Yes.
He knows that you're not Latino?
We don't know that yet. We haven't had that conversation. I'm hiding it though, because now I don't want to get dropped if he finds out I'm not.
Yeah,
you know,
it is.
He doesn't watch this podcast, right?
No, God no.
With two of his clients on the same
no,
episode.
are you kidding me?
He's not going to follow up on this.
A manager that watches the client's podcast that
Lo
never
siento,
happens.
Zach. Lo siento.
It always makes me laugh because I was like, you do have all of us now, right? And he was like, yeah, I have no idea how.
I told you before we started that he's got all the Infinity Stones of the Latinos.
Yeah, he can get a free taco.
Barbosa slaps onto his ring finger and just
he snaps and he just, anyways. Yeah, it is. He is. How did you meet him?
It was after Moon Tower last year, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What was his? How did he hit on you? What was his? What was his approach?
He said, "May I speak to you, por favor?" That's what he said.
He was like, "Como se dice?"
Yeah.
Representation.
Yeah. No, he was super chill. And then we just had him, and then I ended up doing Netflix Fest like a month later, and that's where his office is. So I met him at his office and had a really good meeting. And
oh, interesting. I've yet to see The Office. Interesting, Zach. I've yet to see the new one. No,
you'll get there, pal. You'll get there. I'll put in a good word for you, Zach. If you're watching, this guy's good.
It's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
No, he's truly one of the best. I met him. I was a door guy at the store. And he would always call in and he'd be like, "Can I get free tickets to the show?" And I'd be like, "Absolutely, right?"
Yeah.
And then eventually I got dropped by my manager. And then he was like, I think it was like a manager for like a month at the time.
Was it because you were giving free tickets away
I was
to
giving
other
free
managers?
tickets to other managers. Yeah. No, this was when I was at the Comedy Store. So
okay.
Yeah. And then he just signed me and we've worked it out ever since. He's just been always like the best, always just in the corner.
Yeah, we sort of put out a battle plan. And I got another guy named Adam too, who's there with the same company. And we sort of put out the schedule we were going to try to stick to, and everything's been going great so far. So very happy with both guys. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. It's fucking great. Have you been enjoying doing all the Moon Tower stuff this year?
Yeah, Moon Tower rocks. It was I was hoping to do Stamptown again also, because that's, in my opinion, the most fun show to do. Mm-hmm. They're so big now, though. There's just not space on the show.
No,
if they didn't already have you booked before the festival, which I totally get. So shout out to Zach Zucker. He's the best. And I did do it last year. He added me himself to their show. And it's like, I mean, I felt like I was doing comedy with steroids because they have the sound guy and they have all those sound effects. You've seen the show, yeah?
Yeah.
And it's all the Lenny Kravitz, you know? So I just talked to the guy and I was like, "Hey, if I do a move, can you hit the Lenny Kravitz?" And he's like, "You ever see Wedding Crashers when Owen Wilson wants Vince Vaughn to like play quarterback?" And he just goes, "I was first team all state. I can make it rain out here."
Yeah.
That's what the sound guy was basically like.
Oh, absolutely.
I can do everything.
A sound guy that's on point is fucking like,
yeah,
holy
and then you look like God when you're up there. I would just make a move like this and it would just go, "Oh yeah," in front of like 200 people. It was incredible.
And those kind of audiences are like different in the sense that there's like, not that there's no failing, but it's just like they're so just down and ready to just laugh that they're just like, it's such a fun.
I think you could fail. I think you could bomb.
Oh, really? Have you seen anyone bomb?
I mean, you yourself. I'm sure because Zach and them would run out and fix whatever's happening. But like, yeah, I'm sure you could. No, I haven't seen anyone do that.
That would be terrible to bomb in front of a crowd like that.
Of course.
Everyone's just like, "Sorry, guys." You know what I mean? Like the clown in the corner is just like, meh.
Somehow they have a new sound effect. It's like, "Oh no." Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah.
That's not even part of the song.
Everyone just beats the shit out of them. They just start stomping in the middle of the fucking thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but those guys are great. I've met the whole team and Zach's brother, and they're all sweethearts.
Yeah, I was in a pool with a few of the people from the show. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, like a swimming pool.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Not like a fantasy draft pool.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were.
No, look at me.
There's a lot of gamblers out here. So.
It is crazy how much gambling is in Austin. They say it's like the #1 spot for like underground gambling, especially like card rooms and like poker and stuff.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah, you'll find yourself at a poker room at like the 25th floor of some random apartment complex, and you're like, oh, it's 4 o'clock in the morning right now. This is a fucking blast.
Yeah. And I just discovered chips in my pocket.
Yeah.
I'm just, all right.
And you're like, oh no.
You guys are serious here.
How much did I lose?
Yeah. But Moon Tower was sick. It's the second year doing it. Colleen's great. Colleen McGar. And got to do a lot of cool shows.
Yeah, Colleen was very, very nice. She's super cool.
Yeah.
It's also one of those cool festivals where, like, if you crush on a show, they'll add you to other shows.
That's what happened. I was booked on like 6 last year. I ended up doing 9.
Yeah.
I got close to that this year too. I forget. But
I did 4 and 9. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
because everybody's very chill about that. And then it's like, yeah, you're right. As soon as you like show that you can do it, then everyone talks and they're like, yeah, I put them on another thing.
Yeah, that was the cool thing that it felt like, where it was like I did good on a few shows and then people started talking, and like I'd be somewhere else and like, I heard you had a good show, and I'm like, oh shit, people are talking.
You're up in 5.
And I'm like,
and they're like, oh, great.
Yeah, I did get a few switches like an hour before, and I was like, nice. You got to run around.
Yeah.
The other thing, you're a club guy too. Did you get where did you go up in Atlanta?
So the primary 2 places I go would be the Laughing Skull Lounge and then the Punchline in Atlanta. Then there's other ones that I've done. I'm just not there as often. It's like Atlanta Comedy Theater and then Uptown. And then we have a brand new Helium now also that's technically an Alpharetta, so people in Atlanta will slap you in the face if you say that that's Atlanta.
Oh.
But it's close enough.
Interesting.
So we'll call it. And it's a great club. I've opened for a little Sasquatch there, Barstool guy. He's great.
Yeah, I know.
He goes by Harry now.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's great.
Yeah, I'm glad he switched his name up.
I think he is too. I think he was ready to,
It's kind of hard to have the headliner be Sasquatch as the name, and you're like, well, this is
also the Lil thing too. I think a lot of rappers, like, isn't Lil Wayne still Lil Wayne? Like, he never changed it to Wayne or anything.
Yeah, or they're like a Baby Boy or some shit like that.
Yeah, but it's like you're 45. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Comes off a little weird, but
the thing that I liked about the Moon Tower was it's like showcase sets, so you're on the same lineup as like people from New York or like people from just huge followings and stuff, and then you get to see like the differences.
What else is out there?
Yeah, and it is also like, dude, I had to follow a guy from Europe what's his name, who raps and does everything.
Oh, Chris Turner.
Dude, he fucking blew my goddamn socks off.
Yeah, I had many people tell me he should only go at the end of shows because it's all music and everybody's into it. And yeah, I discovered him during COVID. I hadn't met him, but I was like, this is some sort of magic trick that he's doing where he freestyle raps based on the audience suggestions.
Oh, it's so good.
And he doesn't like stutter. He doesn't miss a word. It's just like he just makes it up right there.
There was another Chris that was on the show, and I know him. I fucking always forget his last name, but he had to follow him. And I remember looking at him and I was like, I've never been so happy to not have to follow a guy.
Yeah.
And he was like, I fucking am so mad. He was like,
you know what? Some guy got a huge laugh. I saw it the last night of the fest. It was the show before mine. And the guy goes, this is now I'm going to do my rap with your suggestions to music. He just said that because he was kind of falling off, and it got a huge, like, the callback just from that guy doing it got a huge laugh. That's how good his set was, I guess.
Absolutely.
I didn't see it, but he was like, I'm going to do a freestyle rap for you guys real quick. And then they all went up because it was like 4 comics ago, but they remembered it, man. It was
he was very memorable.
He's a special guy, yeah.
Sophie Buttle also.
She's great. Yeah, I've done a show with her.
Had to follow her. I was like, holy shit, that is like, you can feel it when you follow certain people. Where
they bring the heat out here.
Yeah, where you're like, oh damn, you're no joke. Yeah, she was one. But yeah, no, it was just good to meet so many other comics I've always like kind of looked up to, and people you see online.
Yeah.
And then you get to see them do stand up, and you're like, oh yeah, these people are fucking cool.
For sure.
Everyone was pretty fucking sick. There wasn't any assholes.
The reason they book everybody, man. Moon Tower doesn't book softies out here.
Yeah. It's also, how many festivals have you done so far?
For Moon Tower or
just in general?
I mean, probably half a dozen. I don't know the exact number. But yeah, I ended up doing, the story was I did Flyover, which is run by a guy named Rafe Williams. He was also in Moon Tower, a great comic out of St. Louis. And he had me in Flyover, and then Colleen was one of the industry there. So then that's how I ended up going to Moon Tower. So it was kind of just sort of a 1, 2, 3 kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then the Netflix, all that shit. But so I haven't done a ton, and I always tell people, like, a lot of festivals, there's so many now. I don't know about them until people post that they just did them.
Yeah.
So someone would be like, man, loved doing the Boise, Idaho, Boulder Rock Running Buffalo Festival this weekend. And I'm just like, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's in a convention center, and it's like one really nice poster, and you're like, God, that festival seems amazing.
They call it a fest. It's a festival. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I think I've done only 3 so far, but it's been like real fun. Like the Netflix one was great. This one was like phenomenal. I did South by Southwest like a long time ago, but it feels this one felt the most like summer camp.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's what they're supposed to. You're supposed to hang and crush and then go meet other comics and other industry folks and just like enjoy what all the work was for. You know?
Yeah.
That's what the festival part's for. So I always love doing these.
It was fun trying to tell my wife, I was like, I can't talk right now. I'm working, and it's like we're at poolside getting sunburnt. Yeah,
that's work.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is.
I'm networking.
Yeah.
Give me another beer.
I got to see you. Well, first I got to talk to Chris Porter, which was great, and then I got to hear the other half of a story that you were there for.
Oh yeah.
And but I would love for you to tell it if you're down. It was great to just hear the other side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Chris he's told you everything?
I was gonna try to get him to tell it on the story, but we ended up just never even getting around.
Well, I was going to say, does he not want the story out there, or does he care? Do you think?
I don't think he cares.
Okay.
Yeah.
Say it to the camera, and then I'll tell the story.
I don't think Chris Porter cares.
Okay.
If he does, I'll cut it. But yeah,
it was So Chris rules. I hosted for him.
He really does. He sang a little help with my friends at Antone's for Jam in the Van. And
he did jam like 2 or 3 nights. I
fucking cried. That man's got a voice like a god.
But I told him I still watch his one of his early specials when he had big curly hair. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was excuse me. I think it was the year before COVID. This is so like 2019. And I hosted for him at the Punchline in Atlanta. And it was I'm probably the Friday Late Show. I don't remember exactly which one it was, but that's always, notoriously the crazy one. And they were already rowdy. I mean, I just for my host set, like it was good, but I could tell they're still a little too wanting to bark out, wanting to shout and shit, and it just was a snowball and just kept getting worse. And different pockets of people. By the time Chris gets up there, they're still pretty rowdy, and he tells a joke. I'm trying to remember what the actual impetus, the first line where this started, but he says something like. I know what it was. It was gender reveal parties. He did a joke about gender reveals, and then something with somehow abortion got in there, and some lady in the crowd yells out, "Well, I've had an abortion, and I don't find that funny," which is already absurd to do.
Yeah,
you do that at the mothership, you're immediately removed.
Yeah,
but the Punchline, they'll let you do goddamn wherever you want to.
They're giving you another.
I love
round.
you guys, but boy, is there not any security there. So. We probably need to fix that. But anyway, she yells out abortion, right? So now he's got to deal with that. But you hear him out on the first one,
Yeah.
And so
because you want to have empathy.
But then also the crowd is still barking. They want the show to go on. They're starting to turn on her a little bit. But then Chris is trying to still be a team player with her and be compassionate about her situation. I'm sorry, that's a horrible thing you went through. Obviously, you're still traumatized by it. But he's also trying to handle the other side, which is the animals that want to keep the show going. They want blood. And so then he gets to the end and he takes requests. And they request a joke he did about a chick that wanted him to sleep on the side of the bed closest to the door in their room because she didn't want to get raped. And I'm butchering the joke, but this is essentially the premise. And the punchline was, it doesn't matter what side of the bed I'm on. If I'm getting raped, I'm going to nudge you.
Yeah.
And Chris crushes with it. Anyway, as soon as he says that, same abortion chick, now she stands up and she goes, as someone who got raped, and she raises her hand. Now it's now the show's out of control. Yeah. Now the whole crowd loses it.
Double down.
Yes. And the whole crowd is just and then one guy yells out, "You deserved it." It's now there's no fixing this,
Yeah.
And so Chris is trying to settle everything down. This lady's hysterical. These guys are saying you deserve to be raped. And it's a nut house. I think she ended up just leaving under her own power with her date or whatever. But I remember Chris tells them, I thought you guys were mature enough to make it to the end of the show. Obviously you were not. That is not the case. Good night. And he walks off the stage. And that's the end of the show. Now, I got to go close that motherfucker and go back up as the host. And now they want to yell with me again. And I just immediately shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up. Show's over. Thanks for coming. And it was so nuts. And we go to a restaurant after and talked about it for like 2 hours on just analyzing every move and how it was like Chernobyl, where like each little thing turned into another
domino effect.
Yeah, it was a domino effect that turned into, radioactive atmosphere.
Oh my God.
It was nuts. And so when I saw Chris, I think you were with him when you were right outside the hotel.
Yeah.
And I said, Chris, I don't know if you remember, but I hosted for you on this crazy show. And he was like, buddy, I still tell people to this day that was my worst heckler crowd story ever.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's the one I tell people too. I can't believe that. And he still remembers it too. Like it was yesterday,
What he said was hilarious. He was like, and right after that, I walked off stage and 8 feet to go sell merch.
Yeah, he still had to sell merch after the show. Exactly. And I don't know if he showed you. He's got T-shirts now that say "You deserved it." Did he show you?
No.
No.
They crushed. They sell so much. That shit, dude. I hate that happened to that lady, but I love chaos stories like that.
Yeah, man.
Like chaotic stories.
And it's like, again, you have to understand. He's not saying that about you. He doesn't know your situation. He doesn't know that happened to you before he came in. I had a buddy that happened to who did a joke about his dad. His dad died like the day before. And he had a bit that was really funny about it, but he was just trying it the next day. Some lady's sobbing in the crowd, leaves a review. My dad died 3 days ago, and he doesn't fucking know that.
Yeah.
He didn't know your dad died 3 days ago. He's trying a bit because he went through the same thing.
100%.
If you were emotionally intelligent, you might want to fucking listen, see if it's funny. And if it's not, yes, you can step outside, but you don't have to get angry at him. He didn't come up with that.
Yeah, he's going through the same exact thing.
Yeah, if anything, he might have a healing thing he's going to say that you are both experiencing right now because both of your dads just died, you know? So, I don't know. I wish people could understand that it's not, no one knows you didn't fill out a little cue card.
Yeah, we didn't get all the information about you when we went up.
Yeah, exactly. I'm still going to do my lupus joke, you know? I'm sorry. That's what you're going through.
such a specific disease.
Well, now I know. Now I got to write one. I don't have a lupus joke. But
one of my favorite moments like that happened to me was I was doing a bit about Gabby Petito for like a little bit.
Sure.
And it was just like a dumb joke. Blah blah blah.
Then the guy who killed her is in the room, and he's just like, "Dude, can you not? Can we just enjoy ourselves without having reminders like this?"
So afterwards, this lady comes out and she's talking to the security guard. She's sobbing.
Yeah.
And she's like, there's a monster in there talking about Gabby Petito, and that's real fucked up. It's not cool. Blah, blah, blah. The security guard's like, oh, it was like in the news. It probably doesn't mean anything by it. And she goes, well, that was my neighbor.
Jesus.
I was like, of all the places. It's so funny to think that she went to a comedy club to like get away from everything that was happening, and then like she just sees my dumbass being like,
of course,
fucking blah 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 blah, and then like everyone laughs, you know, and then it was like,
but then it's like, again, what do you want me to say?
Yeah,
into the microphone, you know? Oh, cool. What's your address? You know,
I literally even said, I was like, well, wasn't she like everybody's neighbor because she like traveled the country, and then
that's a good line.
I know, it was great.
My favorite is Jesselnick, and he made it into part of a bit. He did a joke about your baby drowning in a tub. It's one of his like first album or something. And apparently a lady, and he might have made this up, but apparently a lady comes up to him after and goes, hey, I found that really offensive, really hurtful. I had twins that both drowned in an accident, so I'd appreciate if you didn't tell that joke anymore. And then Jesselnick goes, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. If I had known that, I would have told it twice.
It is very funny to see like the people that take like this like thing to be like, you can't do it because of this. And you're like, well, I don't know how to break it to you, but that's not how the world works.
Right. I
remember a lady heckled me because I remember what I was talking about. And by the way, I was at a show and I was bombing. Like by all intents and purposes, she deserved to heckle.
Sure.
And then I remember she was like, I'm fucking not black. I'm half Polynesian, half something. I was like, oh, my bad. I'm sorry. She was like, I was like, I go, I love the Polynesian people. I love your guys' sauce. You guys have great chick. You guys make a great sauce. And she got so fucking mad. Like wanted to rush the stage and fight me.
Can't talk about the sauce?
Apparently, she was so mad that she was like, "How dare you? How dare you boil my culture down to a condiment?" She was like,
I'm sorry, fried chicken, fried chicken, fried chicken.
Yeah, she was like, "How dare you?" She goes, on the eve of George Floyd's cousin's birthday.
Hey, lady, you said you weren't black. You said you weren't black. You can't switch now.
But George Floyd cousin's birthday is the funniest random shit. I was like,
that's great.
Who the fuck keeps track? That's
Is that
crazy.
on our national calendar now? George Floyd's cousin's birthday that we have to observe.
That was the only one where like people had to walk me to the car because I was like, she's like, I'm gonna get my cousins, and she left, and I was like, oh damn, this is gonna be great.
They want to fight on his birthday?
Over Polynesian sauce. Have you ever seen any like crazy crowd reactions?
Yeah, there was a guy. This is the first one popping in my head. He goes to the bathroom. His date is about third row. This is at Laughing Skull in Atlanta. They're having a full conversation. It's not a big room. It's 74 seats, so you can hear a pin drop if it gets quiet, but then it gets hot because it's kind of like Black Rabbit a little bit. It reminds me a lot of that room, and they're having a full drunken conversation. Her and some other lady about kids. I guess they had a babysitter situation, but they're just talking about it. The whole room can hear, and it's over and over. I keep coming back to them, busting their chops a little bit. Finally, it escalates. She starts to get mad. Laughing Skull does have a security guy, so he comes in, and then now they're arguing. But I'm still making fun of her and keeping the crowd involved because the show's still going. I'm not gonna pause and like let the guy carry out. Well, the guy comes back. He has no idea. So he left when it was chill, and now he's coming back to World War III with her yelling at this big security guy. Well, he thinks she's in the right, so now he starts yelling. And finally, I'll end up doing this a lot now, where I just sort of appeal to the crowd. I go roam, with the crowd, and I'm like, "Do you guys hate these guys?" And they go nuts. And I remember the guy's name was Steve, and he's looking at me. I go, Steve, turn around. They fucking hate you, man. And then finally, like, they get the idea and they, walk out on their own power. But they were just standing right in front of the stage, just full blown argument. Like, some people just have no. It's an awareness thing.
Yeah.
And they have no shame where they're just like, or ego, or maybe they'll feel silly later.
Yeah.
But in the moment, they're gonna puff the chest out and try to bear down on you or sink their heels in, and for whatever reason, it's like, dude, nobody wants to fight you.
No.
Now they do.
Yeah.
But
it's crazy the aware. Like I don't think people get embarrassed as much as they used to, and they should.
Yeah.
People people should be publicly embarrassed. It's how you get people to stop doing the dumb shit that they do.
It's never gonna go away though. TikTok just made it worse. People doing TikToks on the sidewalk, like people aren't walking by, or the ones at the gym. And then someone walks by who doesn't see their phone, and they're just like, ugh. And then they put up captions like, "So rude." It's you're a narcissist.
Yeah. You're like, I'm just living my life.
1,000th power.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the craziest one. One guy did want to fight me, and he was a bodybuilder, and it got crazy for a second. I was picking on him and his buddy, who were both bigger than a person I should have been picking on, and he stood up and started doing like the bull seeing red. He was actually like kicking his feet on the floor. And then he starts licking his lips, and I don't know why he did that. And then I chose to say, I don't know if you want to fight me or fuck me. And then he got really mad, Frank, and his other buddy had to like restrain him, and he finally got him to relax. And I did acknowledge, both of you could kill me. You understand that? I find that helps with big dudes. If you just give them that, then they're like, all right, he sees it.
Yeah.
He sees.
But I was always the cousin that like was always getting picked on by bigger cousins.
Yeah.
And I was always the one where it was like, they were always like, say one more thing and I'm gonna fucking hate you. And then you're like,
of course. Well, then it's almost impossible. Yeah.
And then you get hit.
Yeah.
But I was always that guy. Like, and there's been a few times where I've been on stage and I'm like, I should shut the fuck up.
Sure.
And I'm just like, I can't.
Yeah, I find that acknowledging that they could beat the shit out of me sort of allows them to relax a little bit and just be like, all right, he still understands the power dynamic here, and I'm gonna give him the time of day, as long as they're not being a monster or something. But by the end of that night, the guy who hated me wanted to fight me. He bought I think at least 2 T-shirts, and then he was showing me bodybuilder photos of him from the 80s, like in a Speedo and stuff. Yeah, we were like boys.
Oh,
by
he
the end
definitely
of the night.
wanted to fuck you.
He probably, yeah.
He
And then
wanted
we
to
found
fuck
out.
you.
We found out what it was. I was right. I knew I was right.
Oh man, yeah, I've seen only a few. There was one fist fight that happened at the store that was like crazy. That I was like,
Yeah, I haven't seen a fight.
dude,
tell me about the fight.
dude, it was like, it was one of the most. So it was like, it was in the belly room of the Comedy Store. Literally,
Love
like
the belly room.
20 people.
Okay.
And the second guy that goes up is like a magician from like one of those like talent TV shows, right?
Okay.
And they were his fans apparently. They were
Yeah.
like 4 dudes. They were all brothers. They're in the front row. They just kind of being rowdy and heckling. There's literally there's like 2 rows of people. So it's
Yeah.
like there's no one in here. So they're just being obnoxious. And then we're just like, hey, I'm hosting. So I'm like, hey, just keep it down, don't blah, blah, blah. And then they're just like being brats about it. And then second comic goes up, and then they're still being fucking dicks about it. Tell the security guard goes over, and his name's Curtis at the time. He's a big, like skinny, kind of probably a little bit, probably your size, but just all muscle, but he just doesn't look like he has any.
Yeah.
Right? And the guys start chirping at him, and then Curtis is just like in the back, and the guy doesn't like that Curtis told him to be quiet.
Okay.
Right? And then the guy's looking back, and he starts flipping Curtis off.
Great.
And then he's like, well now we got to get you guys out of here. So then he goes up, he moves
Still
the
being
table.
quiet though.
Yeah.
He's just flipping him off.
He's just being
so
a dick about
technically
it.
abiding by the rule that is provided.
Yeah, he's just like, but he's like puffing his chest, like
Yeah.
clearly like trying to like provoke something.
Oh, yeah.
So then he moves the table. He's like, "You guys got to go." And the guy goes from sitting in a chair and he just lunges at the security guard, tries to take him down. All hell breaks loose, right?
Of course.
They start fighting in the little stairway going down. The other 2 guys jump in. All the other comics that are
The
working
magician
there.
should have thrown a sheet over both of them.
2 other security guards pop up. So like one of the guys is like holding the fucking like there's like a little awning, and then he's holding the awning before he goes down the stairs, and you see one of the security guards just go hit him right in the throat.
Yeah.
He falls down. It all spills into the back parking lot. Everyone's fighting. Like the security guards are all
Someone's
fighting.
still on stage during all of this, yes?
Yeah, the magician was still on stage, and so like everyone pours out into the parking lot. Everyone's fighting. I just remember one of the security guards has a guy like on the ground. He's on top. He's mounted him. The other one's like facing off.
Wow.
One of them's just screaming. And the girlfriend, there's a girlfriend there. She's just screaming
There's
loud too. There's
always
always
a
a girl
girlfriend.
screaming.
Yeah.
And the cops come, and it's so funny because the guys that are fighting are all rich white kids, right? You
Yeah.
just hear them scream, "Do you know who my father is?"
I mean, you couldn't be more stereotypical.
And
Yeah.
it's so funny because all the comics are like now watching this by the time. So all the comics have come out. We're all watching the parking lot fight. And he says that, and everyone just starts dying laughing.
They find out they're related while they're both.
You're my dad too.
Have we done this before?
And the cops come, right? And the guys that are fighting see the cops and they go, "Oh, thank God. This way, officers." And like the cops are like, "What are you talking about? Your shirt's off. Of course we're arresting you."
You guys are the problem.
Yeah. So they get arrested, and then
They're making white people look so bad,
Oh,
dude.
dude.
Because
It-
that's exactly what everyone thinks we do in every situation. Start the problem, and then when the cop arrives, here they are.
thank
sir.
God. Yes. Yeah. It was fucking ridiculous.
Yikes.
And then apparently one of them was like a singer or some shit. Anyways, I think they tried to sue the store, but one of our coworkers ends up going out to a bar, meeting a bunch of guys. They all go back to their place, and they're all hanging out drinking.
and the
stuff.
guys there?
And it was all of the guys that got kicked out from the place.
Amazing.
And then she starts to realize that they're all there. And then
Yeah.
she's like, "Oh, I work." And she didn't bring up that she works there, but it was like, "Oh shit." And then she was like, "I gotta get the fuck out of
You
here."
got to get out.
Yeah.
The guy that got arrested wasn't there though, right? He's still
All 3 of them got arrested.
but they weren't back at the party. when
This
she
was
there.
like
Oh, it
about a
was
month
later.
later. Yeah, this was like a month
Okay.
later. She just happened to meet some guys and was like, "Yeah, let's go party." And then it was like
Amazing.
the wrong guys to meet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would kind of want the follow up, but also not enough to re-engage with the guy. Yeah.
It was just a
So
lot.
who was your father, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I was just bluffing, dude. He just does landscaping.
He's like, I don't know my dad is.
Yeah, it didn't help at all. I spent a night in jail.
Yeah, it always blows my mind to see audience members get that crazy where they want to like fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, well, I was actually talking about this with somebody the other night. It's like, and some guys grew up like this in high school. They would go to parties just wanting to fight someone. They don't want to drink. They don't want to talk to chicks. They don't want to get high. They don't want to chill. They're going to go fight someone.
Yeah.
That's they're going out and having a good time. Did you see me beat the shit out of that guy?
Yeah.
And everyone else is like, you ruined the party, brother. That sucked. Please stop doing that. And some of those guys grow up and some of them don't. And some of them probably go in the NFL or something. They just keep getting to do it.
Yeah.
But they're the worst.
Yeah.
And anyone looking for a fight, because it's not even about the guy you run into later. It's some other shit that you got going on, or you got something happened to you when you were a kid and you never got over it, but it's like,
They're like, I have to beat up strangers.
yeah, dude, think about that.
That's
But you
wild.
won't, because you're not going to go to therapy or fucking. That is their therapy, I
Yeah,
guess.
absolutely.
Just beating the shit out of someone. It's very, very uncool behavior. So if you're doing that, knock it off, pal.
I had a friend in high school, and I remember, thank God he hung out with us, because I remember one day he came up to us and he was like, you know what today is? It's National Pick on a Freshman Day. And we all like laughed, and
Hate that.
he picked a freshman up and threw him in a trash can.
And do you still hang out with this guy?
No, but I see him now, and he's got like a loving family, and he's like got a business, and I'm like, dude, I used to watch
Well, then maybe
you.
that was him getting out of his system. Maybe he got one out.
I don't know. One of my favorite
I
stories
just had to
is
kill a guy, dude. I'm good now. I'm a family man now. You know.
he we had to wear lanyards in our school because that
Okay.
was like how they did security stuff. It's
That's
so
kind
dumb.
of funny.
Yeah, and I remember he walked up to our group once, and there was like freshmen following him, and we were just like, why are you get rid of these freshmen? Why are they following you? And he's like, ugh. And then he opens his pants up and pulls out all their lanyards and gives their lanyards back.
What
And
is he, a lunch money guy?
I swear to God, he was like a classic bully. And we were
Loser.
like, oh my God, dude.
You find out what losers those guys are later in life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Any guy. Hazing to me also. I was on a lot of sports teams.
Oh, were you?
I didn't get a ton of crazy shit done to me. I would hear stories from other teams and other schools. It's like,
What was the worst?
or even frat stuff. I mean, every frat it kills a kid every year because they shove something up his ass, and then
That's
they're
the
just like, "Whoops, it doesn't go in that way."
Yeah. They're like, oh no, you mean the kid that we beat the living shit out of?
They
with
beat
like-
him up and then they boof him or whatever, and it's just like, you guys are. This is the gayest shit ever, by the way, and you're losers. This sucks. Do you even want to be friends with those guys after they shove shit up your ass? And then it's like, you walk out limping. Like, how'd it go? He's like, I'm in. I think I'm in.
Yeah.
I think I got it.
They hazed us at the store. We had to drink 151 shots.
I don't even like that.
Yeah, it was
How
rough.
many shots?
It was a full tall glass.
I mean, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They made us.
I'm not going to slander the store. But
No, they stopped that after a while because people were just
Mothership has
blacking
been
the
nothing
fuck
but
out.
chill. I did a few sets, and they were like, "You're funny. That's the point of the building. That's the point of the place. Welcome to the roster." There's no go suck on Joe Rogan's toes or anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's very chill. Joe's very chill.
They do make you smell those smelling salts, though. Don't.
Yeah, I was offered. I didn't get forced, but like I was kind of curious about that.
Oh,
anyway.
you're not in the
'Cause
text-
It's not like it has to go up my ass.
You're not in
you
the
know?
text group now. So you didn't do the smelling salts. You're not in the.
All right, well, okay. I'm not in the group chat yet. Sorry. I have tried them though, just out of curiosity. I mean, I get it.
Yeah,
they punch you right in the face.
They're fucking gross. It's
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
weird like pain feeling.
Yeah.
It feels great though.
But that's why they have to make them that way,
Yeah.
right? Because it's to like wake up unconscious guys, right? Or do like get you jacked up before you go get some more CTE or whatever.
Yeah.
so you don't notice the CTE that's
Yeah.
slowly making you hate your family. And anyway,
All right, we'll get into these questions.
yeah, fire away.
These are questions my wife wrote.
Yeah.
Dubbed the Question Master by Matt McCusker.
Oh, Matt's great.
He's the best. If you got asked to do a TED Talk, what would you present on?
Smelling salts.
Smelling salts?
Yeah. Hazing freshmen. Let me show you these photos of these kids that are all dead.
No, for real, that is a huge problem though. There's like, I would see stories like every year there'd be like a couple freshmen or something dying from hazing and stuff, and
Yeah.
they'd always be like, we're sorry, it's not our, like, we didn't know.
Yeah.
But how many do you think that gets swept up under the rug a lot?
Yeah, by the do you know who my father is crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's who a lot of those guys are. They're whatever legacy or something.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them, that's how they get in because their dad was whatever, king of the world or in the Klan or something in the 40s. And then he
Grand
started
Dragon?
Yeah. But no, TED Talk, I got this. It would be, and I actually recently found out that Rogan watches some of this stuff too. It's animals eating other animals.
Oh yeah,
That's like my shit, dude.
Oh, I follow on Instagram. Animals are heavy metal or heavy death.
Nature is metal.
Nature is metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit is
Great account.
the greatest shit I've ever seen.
Some of them are wild.
Yeah.
And some of them I just the standard, just eating another thing. I don't need to see all the guts. That gets kind of crazy.
That's kind of what that really.
The worst of the worst are like crocodile videos because they death roll and
Yeah.
then stuff starts flying everywhere.
Yeah.
And you're like,
or you'll see like
this is a lot.
You'll see it get away, and then it's like oh no, that arm's gone forever.
Exactly.
And you'll see it try to use it, and you're like, oh, this is rough.
There's a very cool one of a lady who's working with an alligator, and she's a trainer, so she knows what to do, and it snags her. She knows it's going to roll. She flips with it. It's wild to watch. They do a full somersault, and then a big fat guy sits on its back while she just holds on, and then they slowly get it to ease up, and then they get her arm out. But for her to know, I mean, it was in an instant. That's how fast they roll.
Yeah.
She just knew, it's got me. I got to go. I got to roll. Oof. And she still got her arm.
Do you ever watch those? What's it called? I think it's Delta P videos.
Nuh-uh.
It's a thing. I think it's what it's called, but it's a phenomenon that happens when there's different pressurized, there's different like water pressures in like a pipe for say. So like it happens like people that weld or like shit like that, where like there'll be no water in a pipe and they'll be welding and then it'll open up and then the water gets sucked in and it's such high pressure that it'll like literally put a full person through like a hole like that in like an instant.
Doesn't that happen to welders and stuff? And that's sort of similar to what happened with the sub guys, right?
Yes,
like an implosion kind of situation. Yeah.
So they'll have like videos of like crabs getting sucked through like hole, and you're like, oh fuck, that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I watched. Are you a Live Leak guy?
Live League?
Like Live Leak.
Live Leak. What is that?
Oh, okay. Never mind. Are you a Live Leak kid?
Never heard of it.
Are you? Oh man, I just feel like I just showed everyone how disgusting I am. So Live Leak was like a.
Wait till you found out. I said Live League on purpose.
Live Leak was a website that you could go to that just basically showed. It was just like all the like death videos. So it was like journalists getting shot, people like cartel members getting killed.
Dude, we were just talking about this on Stuff Island, but it was a slightly different. You know those guys, those boys.
Yeah. He talks. Yeah, he.
I don't know what that is, but it was the death video. Who's the politician that shot himself? Bud Dwyer.
Oh yeah. Where we had
my buddies and I absolutely watched that one.
Yeah. So I watched that one.
Don't do it.
Yeah, and he was like, no.
No.
And you're like, oh fuck. I was like 12. Yeah. So it basically it's just like it'll be like a video of like a dude in a Chinese factory working, and then like the spindle like will catch his leg, and then it'll just like. And you're like, ooh.
I can't like watch those, but I've seen some like there's things on YouTube that like just tell you what happened. Like a guy was working in like a compressor factory. And he went in when he thought it was off, or something hit the button and just done.
Yep.
They don't show it, but it's like, he's toast.
I my dad showed me Faces of Death when I was a kid.
That's what we talked about.
Yes.
Shout out to Tommy Pope and Faces of Death. Yeah, we talked a lot about that on Stuff Island.
Yeah, man, my dad was not a good influence.
Somehow every podcast I go on to, we end up talking about Faces of Death. I don't know how that keeps happening.
It was like such a great series, dude.
Yeah.
And someone ended up telling me that a lot of it ended up being faked. So some of the stuff was real, and then some of the other stuff was just like faked video editing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember there was like a video of a lady like hopping trains and her head's down, and then like a train's coming and then everyone stops and she's the only one that keeps going, and then it's just like
that'll do it,
and you're like,
yeah. But then they said that was whatever the CGI was from that time. Or something.
Some of them were fake, but I think that one was real.
Jeez,
yeah, dude.
And she was in the cart or on top of the.
No, so they were like, it was like a train station. And they were hopping over the like from little like the different tracks, right?
Yeah.
So and then
they're hopping over the tracks.
Yeah, to get to the next like where they pull in.
Okay.
And then everyone stops and she keeps going. And then you want to pull it up online, see if it's still
Jamie, pull that up for us. Can you pull it up? Let's watch this person die.
Yeah. She just basically gets hit by a train.
It would be fascinating to see the entire TED Talk crowd have to watch a croc take down a zebra or a gazelle, and then I'm just like, now if you see, this is what a crocodile normally. This is pretty awesome, right? Look at this. It's got no shot. Ma'am, where are you going? Are you leaving? All right.
This is a lady faints.
Yeah.
All right. What family member do you take after the most, and do you think that's a good or a bad thing?
That's a good one because I talk about my dad a lot. He's a QAnon guy.
Oh, is he?
Big time conspiracy guy. Yeah. And there's
my mom's a conspiracy lady.
There's no, but this is like the Q guys are like they're
next level.
They're out there.
Well, I remember I kept up on the Q stuff for a little bit because it was like Q was like a guy that was like secretly leaking stuff, right?
Q clearance at the whatever the Pentagon or whatever. It's called.
So is that guy still around, or do they think?
So here's the thing: the movement has died down because of after the insurrection. You basically had a choice to either say, "Oh, that was dumb," or "We're going all the way." And my father chose to go, we're going all the way. Now I will say, and by the way, he was not at the insurrection. He didn't do all that. But he does like
He wanted
follow.
to be.
That's what I tell people. He just doesn't have the knees to get up those capital steps. Otherwise, he probably would have. But he even now, I've talked to him and he's like, it's not. The Q's not really the big part of the thing anymore. We're just Anons. That's what we are. We're the Anons, and we're following the. So I don't think they have as much organization as they did.
Did they just drop the Q off the LBTQ?
I was making that joke for a minute, but then I saw a bunch of people on Twitter doing similar shit, so I was like, all right, we're not going to leave that in. But because I was saying it's the Q and LGBTQ is for QAnon, but yeah. So he's. I think. There's good and there's bad. The biggest thing I think I take from my dad is I don't really I try not to get like rattled at stuff. He does a very good composure. He was a hunter and an outdoors guy and could go sit in a tree stand for 6 hours and not blink, and then a deer walks down and done. So here's the thing: he wanted to be in the military, but he wasn't. So I think the Q stuff kind of comes from some of that. You still want to save the world. He wants to be Bruce Willis. Yeah. He's a Bruce Willis guy. I was just watching Armageddon last night at my buddy's place. Fantastic movie.
That movie still makes me fucking cry.
Such a dumb movie and concept.
So good.
But it's so awesome. And it's great. It's a fun movie, and it's still on FX. That's the reason I've seen it almost more than any other movie, is because it was on FX every day when I would get home from school. That was 15 years ago.
Yeah.
It's still on FX. That's their cash cow.
I mean, it's such a good movie.
Is Armageddon.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great. Have you seen the commentary by Ben Stiller?
It's Ben Affleck. It's phenomenal.
Where he's talking to Michael Bay about. For those who haven't seen it, it's the premise of the movie is they hire all these oil rig guys led by Harry Stamper, Bruce Willis, to go save the world, but they have to learn how to be astronauts so they can get into space to land on an asteroid that's going to hit the Earth, and they have to drill into the asteroid and drop a bomb into the asteroid. It's so awesome. Just that.
I wish it was in the pitch meeting.
I was just going to say that. Imagine pitching that. And then they're just like, yeah, how many explosions should we make? This is going to be sick. Well, anyway, in the commentary, in the whatever, Ben Affleck goes, yeah, I asked Michael Bay, don't you think it would be easier to train astronauts to be oil rig drillers than to train oil guys to be astronauts? And he told me to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and then they were like, can we do a Thursday music video where Steve Tyler dances and stares at his daughter?
See, that's the other thing people forget about. He basically serenades his own daughter's sex scene. It's very bizarre. And it is what it is. The guy was on a lot of drugs. I'm not gonna get into it with Steven. He makes great music. Unless you're a fan of not Aerosmith. There's a lot of those. But I fuck with other stuff.
I'm gonna sing a song while Ben Affleck plows my daughter. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
All right. What's a story from your childhood that was embarrassing at the time, but now you think is hilarious?
Story from my childhood that was embarrassing. Let's see. I'm sure there's probably a good one. From my childhood, I don't know. We were talking about bigger kids. I did get wrestled with a bunch, picked on. I don't know. Probably falling down or something.
Do you ever fall down or do anything embarrassing in front of like school or
some
people?
Chicks or something?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
I mean, my favorite one to tell, I tell this all the time, but this is like my dad's greatest story is, I used to skateboard to school, and then one day I was like too tired to like skateboard all the way. So I was like, can you drop me off halfway and then I'll skateboard the rest? So people just like they think I skateboarded the whole way.
Yeah.
And he dropped me off like a block away from the school, and then there's always traffic when people drop off the kids.
Yeah.
So by the time that I was able to skateboard to the stoplight in front of the school, he was like at the stoplight, to cross. So I'm going in front of him, crossing the street, and my dad rolls his window down and he just goes, "Poser!" And I fucking eat it. I eat it so hard in front of everybody.
Perhaps confirming the accusation.
Yeah. And then, people laugh and shit. And I remember I got up and like my friends were like, "Who is that?" And I couldn't tell them it was my dad. I was so embarrassed.
That would end it.
Yeah.
Then they'd say, "Give me your lanyard."
Yeah.
And you're like, shit. I would say this one just because I'm just thinking about it. Not quite childhood, but when I was in high school, It was basketball practice, and I dislocated my pinky. And you wouldn't know if I didn't tell you, but it doesn't straighten anymore. But I mean, I tell people I thought it was broken, which is true. It was in like an S shape, but they pulled out all the stops for me like I had just been shot, you know? We didn't need all that. They gave me a wheelchair, and a lot of people gave me shit for. Rightfully gave me shit for that. It was like Paul Pierce when he had to take a shit during a game, and then they put him in a wheelchair. You know, that actually made me feel better though. I'm like, all right, the pros are gay too. You know, yeah, they gave me a wheelchair, coddled me, numbed my finger, you know. Then you see Kobe, and he just calmly walks to his trainer, and the guy just does one of these, and he goes back and plays, you know.
Like, holy fuck.
Yeah. It was a bizarre feeling, though. I couldn't feel my finger. It had never happened before. So, yeah. But that was pretty embarrassing. And my teammates rightfully shit on me for that, for having to be wheeled out for a non-leg related injury, you know.
I remember I remember as a kid, it was Halloween. I think I was dressed up as a ninja.
Yeah.
And we were going to different houses for candy, and I jumped over a bush. I didn't realize it was a rose bush. So I fucking got all fucked up and was like bleeding a little bit, and I started crying, and my dad was like, "Oh, come on, man, ninjas don't cry."
Yeah.
And I just remember
your dad just housing you all your life.
My dad was fucking
actually, here, you just reminded me of one for me now, actually. And this will round it all off, because this will be a compliment to my dad. So, and this was from my childhood. I was probably 5. And I was on the swim team. Well, back then, it's all Speedos, and not like the jammer shorts ones now. You're like, they're the little Speedos. I'm 6. We had just, either one or it was after practice, and I went over to this, I just started like celebrating, but I went by this bike rack that was right outside the pool. I don't even know if it's still there. And all of a sudden, I just start getting lit up on my legs. I didn't realize I had stepped right over a wasp nest, and I'm just getting drilled. And I mean, was just sobbing, and like my mother had to put me in the back seat. It was all on my ass, and so she had to put me in the back seat, like pull my Speedo down. That was in front of people. That, you talk about embarrassing. I'm screaming, and they're like trying to ointment and all this on this fucking idiot kid, and that one was bad. And I mean, I don't really remember it like it was yesterday, but I know it happened. Anyway. That's the son of QAnon. Wasps were eliminated from the gene pool very shortly after that. They brought a bulldozer over there and took out the whole fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exterminator. Ken to the rescue. So, yeah. That was the other thing I was going to say. The crazy heckler, my dad was also at that show, and the line I wish I had said, he always sits in the back. He's not stupid enough to sit front row because he knows people fuck with people.
I respect that.
And he doesn't want that. He just wants to sit in the back and enjoy himself. But I wish I had said to the guy, just so you know, my dad's here. You try to make a move, you'll be dead before you hit the stage. I just want you to know that. He's got a laser sight on you right now, you know, because that's so him. But so anyway, that would be my embarrassing childhood story.
Before we get out of here,
Fuck wasps.
I got a great story. That reminds me of my story about my dad. So in Los Angeles, there was this guy that was doing shows, and then I ended up finding out he wasn't paying anybody. So he was just like doing shows, booking all these people, big names, keeping all the money, just not paying anyone.
Big names is crazy, because I know about like local level guys that used to do that back when I was starting out. But like to do that to a big name, you're just not going to last. Yeah. They talk. Everybody talks.
That was the thing, is like, I remember it was like Felipe did the show. He was like, nah, I don't want to get paid. It was like a favor. He was like, just split it with all the other comics.
Well, I wonder if maybe that set off a switch in the guy's head. It's like, okay.
Yeah. So he ends up not paying me, right?
Yeah.
It was like $15, right? Something ridiculous. And then, he starts like texting me mean shit, trying to talk shit. So then immediately I put...
About not paying you?
Yeah. Okay. And like talking to other people about it. And I was like, whatever. So I put his Venmo on my Instagram story.
Yeah.
And I tell everyone to request $15 from him.
Yeah.
And I think like maybe like 2,000 people requested $15 from him. So his phone was just constantly going off and like blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
And then he calls me, he's screaming at me, just talking shit and like just trying to like threaten me, like saying he's gonna bash my head in.
Yeah.
And I'm dying laughing, right?
Okay.
So in all that, my friend tells me, he goes, dude, so you can look and see like his history, right? Of people sending him stuff.
He leaves it public?
Yeah, he was just a dumb guy. He just it was all public,
that's
right?
extra stupid.
Yeah. So on one of the things, it's just all these requests, but then you see someone send him $1.
Yeah.
And it's my dad. And my dad
Poser.
my dad sends him $1, which is so funny because visually it's like you got to see all these requests and then someone sends you money and you're like, oh, thank God, right?
Yeah.
So he looks and sends him $1 and he goes, my son's funny, and he goes, I'm not. I'll fucking kill you.
Amazing.
And it was just such a fucking funny. I was like, that's such a fucking my dad. It was truly so funny.
God, you look at this guy's Venmo history. It's just fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Like, these sound negative.
Yeah,
Steve.
he's a terrible person. All right, man. Anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
Sure, I got a half hour on YouTube. Nick Murphy live in Tempe. Check it out. Get those numbers up, and I guess my Instagram. And that's about it. Just Nick Murphy. Nick
Fuck
10
yeah, dude.
Murphy. Yeah,
Dude.
Follow Frank Castillo.
Yeah.
If you watch his podcast but don't follow him.
Yeah.
If you're his dad.
All right, dude. Thank you guys so much. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you, Collier
Anytime.
Extracts. Thank you, Puffco. See you guys soon. Woo-wee. That was fun.
That's fun, man.